Good morning and welcome to this Tuesday edition of the Flipside Live. Coming to you on this February the 4th, a little after 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. One of the benefits of Spreaker.com is that, as I pointed out before, I sometimes have problems connecting with the mothership in Cami, Idaho. And this morning was a case in point. I was going to sit in for the second hour of Jeffrey Bennett's Life, Liberty, and all that jazz, but unfortunately the connection gods weren't working with us this morning and was unable to make the connection to the micro effect. And so the advantages of Spreaker.com once again prove themselves, much to my joy. Well, over the last 24 hours, one could say that the level of between Vladimir Putin and the United States has taken a step back from the abyss, if you will. And subsequently, we have the Dow reversing its 200-point loss yesterday to a 200-point gain today. This can be best described as a relief rally. Needless to say, the fear trade was also taken out of the gold market, and yesterday's $30 gain has been reduced by $14. The same goes for crude oil. Not that that's going to avoid higher prices at the gas pump anytime soon. How this current crisis in Eastern Europe is going to resolve itself, your guess is as good as mine. There could have been a number of issues that forced both sides to take a step back, and it's my guess that the threat from the equivalent to the Secretary of the Treasury in Russia hinted at the probability that should financial sanctions be imposed on Russia with a already fragile economy. The Russian central bank could retaliate by selling off
LegalZoom has helped start over 1 million businesses. If you have a business idea, we have a personalized legal solution that's right for you. With easy step-by-step guidance, we're here to help you turn your dream into a reality. Start your business today with LegalZoom. In America, there are many ways to express yourself.
Something really weird that doesn't necessarily at all.
Doug, do you see it the same way?
Very damaging. The defense, to their credit, did what they had to do, which is A, establish that the woman was something like 157 meters away. But again, as they pointed out, she still heard it. B, and this was actually almost ticky. They said, well, wait a minute, on cross-examination down there, like, couldn't it have been him, screaming. Sometimes he sounds effeminate. It's weak, and I do agree with this. I think
it's more than just.
But what about the fact that they, the prosecutor very rudely said, look, your testimony in this case is virtually identical to the statement that your husband gave, trying to suggest that they sort of rehearsed it.
I don't, that doesn't bother me that much. I know people always say, well, if you hear two things, you're going to have all different stories. But sometimes when you hear the same thing you say, the same thing.
That makes a good point, but the way the witness countered it was by saying, hey, we saw the same thing. Case lost. I mean, it was a good comeback, but by the same token, it was a decent move again by the defense. I mean, they're effectively cross-examining, but again, my God, the first witness comes in and says, I heard female screams and then shots afterward. That terminology really hurts the defense.
And the other thing that's really important about this is it's trying to find a judge, not a jury. Yeah, the prosecution is going with facts as law. Facts are law, not emotion. Chronology is so important in this case because it's not a jury. People have got to decide based on emotion.
So the star factor,
strangers,
normally, particularly in America, and it's hard to directly analogize to South Africa, but the reality is we have what we call sort of the celebrity defendant effect. You also have the fact that he has a handicap. I think a lot of that's taken out of play, John, by virtue of the fact that he's charged to a court and not a jury.
And in front of cameras too, which is pretty amazing for South Africa. I think they're really trying to show that
it's the first time.
Right, exactly. That they're not corrupt, that it's not a corrupt system, but they want to be transparent, that they want to have the public actually looking at what's going on because they know, of course, it's such a big case.
I may have called Barry Rue the prosecutor. He's actually the defense attorney, and he's the one who's trying to challenge this witness and say, oh, you didn't hear what you think you heard, or maybe, he said, maybe those bangs you heard were the sound of Oscar Pistorius taking his cricket bat, because that's what he says he did, right down the door after he found out he shot the girlfriend. It's interesting. John makes a really subliminally a very good point, which is that lawyers focus on all kinds of minor issues. Maybe it was the cricket bat, maybe it was this, maybe the male sounds like a female, but jurors have an unbelievable tendency, I think, Lisa would agree, to just keep it simple. Come on. If you heard a female screaming, the judge is going to see it. And another thing about a judge versus a jury is you have lesser included offenses in here, like culpable homicide instead of intentional murder. Now, juries, we've seen, have gotten confused with that. Casey Anthony, what happened here? Because the judge is going to be able to sort out all the legal.
Exactly. The set reached
1,400 coins, street value back then, $28,000, but so much more now because of the lore.
A jump from one provocative case to another. Controversy now over the sentence for the woman who bought the handgun used to kill Colorado's prison's director. Stevie V. Hill was ordered to spend more than 2 years in prison, but prosecutors announced for 6 years. Vigil admitted to giving a
There's
gun
no placing
to
a
a
price
felon
tag.
who later used it to kill
Wayne
2
treatment
men
for 80
and
seniors.
injure a sheriff's deputy. We're also getting some new
Brings us
dash
to
cam
our
video
Facebook
of the
question
shooting
of
of
the
an
day.
officer.
What
Just
would
a
you
warning,
do
it is
if you found
disturbing.
$10
William Martinez is live in our West
Would
Coast
you
newsroom.
splurge, or
William?
get a mansion, or support a charity?
Well, you know, Jenna, that she may have not known Evil's plan, but police testified that Skinny Vigil knew that Evil was an ex-con on parole and a member of Colorado's violent 211 white supremacist gang. The family members say, if you give someone like that gun, it's reasonable to assume that they will use it, as he did here. Now watch this dash cam video closely. Deputy James Boyd approaches the Cadillac. Then, bang, he is shot 3 times. He lies in pain for 5 minutes until help arrives.
What happened?
Finally, this Good Samaritan stops to help. The deputy survives. He describes the suspect's car. Moments later, a 100-mile-an-hour pursuit. Evil fires at deputies along the highway. Then he blows a tire. He crosses the median. He slams into a semi. Then he stops. Then deputies will unload their firearms until he is dead. Yesterday, a judge ruled that there was no evidence that Vigil knew or could have predicted the Evil's plan. But families of the deceased say, wait, she too is guilty of murder, but she wasn't treated that way by the federal judge, Christina Arguello, who argued that Vigil was also a victim, manipulated by Evil to buy the gun. Prosecutors wanted 6 years. Victims and families of the dead were shocked that the judge gave her only 2.
She gave a convicted felon with heinous crimes a gun. In my personal opinion and from what I've learned in law enforcement, she should be held just as accountable.
My son was murdered, and it doesn't seem that the judge had the right logic in mind.
Judge Arguello defended the sentence, saying Vigil got what federal sentencing guidelines call for, though it is not uncommon for straw buyers like her, Jenna, to get 5. So people in that courtroom, not happy. Thank you.
William Martinez, thank you.
Well, the crack-smoking mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford, hitting the American Airways, making a trip to Los Angeles, and facing some ridicule from Jimmy Kimmel. We'll show you more about what happened there. Plus, a worker buried alive under rubble. Witnesses say they heard the victim praying loudly. What happened? Stay tuned.
Man, it's cold out.
Okay.
But today, I believe, is the last coldest day of the year.
So
it's going up
that's why we're outside?
to show optimism.
So we can do the show inside.
Let's do that.
I remain optimistic.
Me too. See if it's up there.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Well, they're not. When your windshield needs to be replaced, nobody makes it as worry-free as SafeLight. First, SafeLight emails a photo of the technician, so you know who to expect and how soon. SafeLight's one-of-a-kind.
The 2013 Silver Polar Bear coin is officially sold out. Now, Lear Capital brings you the 2014 Arctic Fox. For a limited time, get up to $500 worth of new silver Arctic Fox coins free. The Fox is yet another Lear Capital exclusive made from the finest silver of any coin in the world. The Arctic Fox has the same exceptional purity and the same unique 1.5-ounce size, which makes it valuable and affordable. And yes, it comes with a government guarantee, so it's not... Silver can help. Call 1-800-516-5224 now.
As women, we always talk about how we should look, or what's the best way to lose weight. But for me, it finally became all about how I feel. No tricks, just me. I looked in the mirror, and I saw what I didn't want to see. The truth. I was 50 pounds overweight. It was a rough day. That's when I decided I had to lose weight. So I chose the only simple option for me, Nutrisystem.
Now you can lose weight even faster with the all-new Fast 5 kit from Nutrisystem. Lose 5 pounds your first week or your money back, guaranteed.
I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day My Way plan and we'll rush you the all-new Fast 5 kit free. You'll get a week of fantastic energizing shakes, 1 week of delicious Craving Crusher shakes, and a free week of 21 delicious meals, and it's all free.
So why do I keep telling you about Nutrisystem? Because it works, and I know it'll work for you.
Call now. 888-762-GIANT.
I have back pain.
I have disc problems.
Back pain doesn't have to limit your life. Get the DDS 500 with no out-of-pocket cost to you with Medicare and other major insurance. The only patented back support that provides adjustable traction. The DDS 500 easily adjusts to your comfort level and fits discreetly under clothes.
Call Allied Home Medical at 1-800-230-6099.
We don't want to miss any of this.
A worker gets trapped for nearly 4 hours after being buried at the bottom of a 12-foot hole. It happened in Portland, Oregon yesterday. The 20-year-old is still in serious condition at the hospital. Police say he'd been working on a routine sewer line repair when the narrow trench collapsed.
Total panic. You know, I just talked to him a few minutes ago. He's a young guy.
He was young and strong, and he did a lot of the digging himself. A very religious guy. And he was shouting prayers.
Well, our prayers are with him as well as he starts his recovery. 2 other men working with him were able to escape on their own.
Well, the Toronto mayor, who admitted smoking crack while he says in a drunken stupor, just pulled his latest "what was he thinking" move. Mayor Rob Ford agreed to appear on Jimmy Kimmel Live last night, and Julie Banderas is here with the 411 on how it went. Julie.
Hey, it made for good TV, John. Toronto Mayor Rob Ford, as he just said, faced the Late Show host grilling with laughter when it was implied maybe he should get some help for his drinking problem. Listen.
I don't really know you that well, but I do want to say, just, you know, as a human being, you seem like a very nice guy to me, and, if you are an alcoholic, which, you know, listen, you know, if you're drinking enough that you can try crack in your 40s and you don't remember it, maybe that's something that you might want to think about, like talking to somebody.
I wasn't elected to be perfect, Jimmy. I was elected to clean up the mess that I inherited, and that's exactly what I've done.
Ford was reportedly upset about the interview afterward, but then again, nobody forced him on the show. Fox News has reached out to Ford's staff. So far, no reaction. Even Jimmy questioned why he chose to come on, saying, "Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy you're here, but why are you here? What good could come out of this? Have you ever seen the show?" Ford's appearance last night followed months of Kimmel appealing to have the embattled mayor on as a guest. When Kimmel introduced him, he said, "Our first guest tonight has tripped, bumped, danced, argued, and smoked his way into our national consciousness." At one point, the two stood by a screen where they watched some of Ford's embarrassing moments on video. Take a look.
The meeting was still going on. The mayor
That lady, you apologized to her afterwards. Is it that once you get up to a certain speed, there's no stopping? Or?
Well, Ford made headlines last year, of course, after acknowledging he did smoke crack while being drunk, and has since refused to step down as mayor despite public opinion, and he's even seeking re-election in October, so my condolences, Toronto.
Yeah. That is one election we're going to be paying close attention to.
How did he get there in the first place? I don't know. We'll see.
He says they hired him to clean up the mess. Julie Banderas.
Clean up your own mess first.
Yeah, thanks.
See ya.
Well, a tiger walks into a bar. Sounds a little bit like the start of a joke, right? Well, not this time, apparently, and the cops weren't kidding when they arrived. We'll explain. Plus, some call bacon nature's candy. But meat lovers, listen up. Just one more reason why you may want to cut back and watch your protein. We're going to take a look at a brand new study with Dr. Siegel.
This program is brought to you by Scottrade. See for yourself why so many investors are saying, "I'm with Scottrade."
Scottrade knows our clients trade and invest their own way. With Scottrade Smart Text, I can quickly understand my charts and spend more time trading. Their quick trade bar lets my account follow me online, so I can react in real time. Plus, my local Scottrade office is there to help. Because they know I don't trade like everybody. I trade like me. I'm with Scottrade. Ranked highest in investor satisfaction with self-directed services by J.D. Power & Associates.
bones. Defiance never grows old. Citracal Maximum, calcium citrate plus D. Highly soluble, easily absorbed.
How are you feeling? You're kind of tense because you haven't been able to work since your disability. Well, imagine the relief you'll feel when Binder & Binder wins your Social Security disability case. 1-800-66-BINDER. Big Balance. Fox.
Still waiting to build your dream home? With Schumacher Homes, now you can. For the price of a used home and move in as little as 4 months. Start from hundreds of award-winning Schumacher designs, including the all-new Earnhardt collection. Or bring in your own ideas.
That fireplace makes the great room.
The island is going to be perfect for entertaining.
We got everything we want, and no going up and down stairs.
It's your dream home, and it's more affordable than you could imagine. Schumacher Homes provides award-winning quality at the best price. That's why we're America's largest custom home builder, now building in all these states. Call or go to CustomDreamHouse.com right now and see how building your dream home can be faster, easier, and cost even less than someone else's used home. Call or visit CustomDreamHouse.com now and get thousands in free upgrades, plus your free copy of this informative custom home building guide. Schumacher Homes. Living your dream home, not someone else's.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has a solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest, safety sensors, stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even works through a power shortcut.
I was really surprised how little they cost.
Call 1-800-889-4882 for free information. That number is 1-800-889-4882. 1-800-889-4882. Call now.
In Crimea.
Okay, good. Ole, go. Can we please have some order? Thank you. First of all, I think it's important to point out that people forget that although there are 60% of Russians in Crimea, there is 15% of Tatars and 24% of Ukrainians. And nobody talks about the Ukrainians in Crimea. Second, if this was invited to keep the peace, although all the evidence is that that's baloney, nobody attacked any Russians in Crimea. The Russian fleet is totally safe for any kind of threat. Why is it that the Russian troops that sneaked into Crimea took off their insignia so it didn't show they were Russian troops?
Andronik, you want to respond to that? Because we have video of the same thing, and that is pretty much the circulating narrative that the Russian military is there, just essentially unmarked.
Yeah, the problem is that the troops in Peninsula are, of course, the troops which are deployed by Russian authorities according to agreement with Ukraine. By the way, according to agreement, Russia has a right to deploy 25,000 troops over there. Now Russia has a little more than 10,000. By the way, almost 6,000 Ukrainian forces now pledged in their loyalty to Crimean government. And by the way, Crimean Prime Minister declared himself as Commander-in-Chief, and he is going to establish a Ministry of Defense for Crimea.
Andronik, I'd like to ask you a question, if you'd stop talking for a moment. Do you feel there are signs that Russia is ready to start a war over Crimea?
Of course not, because there is no need to war with whom. Haven't you heard today one Ukrainian deputy gave interview and said, mobilization, it's a joke. Nothing is moving, nothing is flying, we don't have anything.
This is not true.
So I'd like you to weigh in on this.
First of all, there were confirmed redeployment of Russian troops from Russia. It was done through the Kerch Strait. Also, the Russian troops have surrounded all of the Ukrainian military bases in Crimea. I'm not sure what kind of agreement allows Russian troops to surround the military bases, Ukrainian military bases, and demand the surrender of arms that the Ukrainian military has there and want the Ukrainian troops to withdraw. On what basis are Russian authorities demanding that? There have been incidents of Russian fighter jets violating going into the Ukrainian airspace. There have been demands on Ukrainian warships to come and defect on the Russian side. What we are seeing now, and what the entire world is recognizing essentially, except Russia, is an outright aggression that is covered up by an attempt, by a bogus threat of nationalism that does not exist.
Well, I'm going to get some community before we go to break, guys. And we have, as you can see on today's live show, our community is responding equally divided. Nick tweets in, Russia's response to protect ethnic Russians' military installations in Crimea is credible and believable. And we just got this tweet from Irish Eyes. On the flip side, most Russians believe that
Governments are talking about how to punitively deal with Russia, but is it all talk? We're going to try to separate the posturing from a plausible response when we come back. Keep tweeting us using the hashtag AJAMStream.
On the next Real Money with Ali Velshi. Why President Obama's budget matters for the economy and your bottom line, even if it doesn't have a chance of getting through Congress. Real Money with Ali Velshi, 7 Eastern on Al Jazeera America.
If you've got IRS tax problems,
don't try to take on the government yourself.
Call the National Tax Help Center.
We're the National Tax Help Center, and we're going to deal with the IRS for you. If you have unpaid taxes, call right now.
The call and consultation were free.
We can remove penalty and interest charges for individuals and businesses. If you owe the IRS, they may legally take money from your paycheck every month, but we're not going to let that happen.
Call the National Tax Help Center.
Call 1-800-307-0675.
While you were asleep, news was happening.
Here are the stories we're following.
Find out what happened and what to expect.
International outrage, a day of political posturing.
Every morning from 5 to 9 a.m., Al Jazeera America brings you more U.S. and global news than any other American news channel.
Tell us exactly what is behind this story.
From more sources around the world.
The situation has intensified here at the border.
Start every morning, every day, 5 a.m. to 9 Eastern with Al Jazeera America.
Al Jazeera America. We open up your world.
America Tonight is an opportunity for all of America to be heard.
Our shows explore the issues that shape our lives.
New questions are raised about the American intervention.
From unexpected viewpoints, from life-changing innovations, from dollars and cents, to powerful storytelling.
We're at a tipping point. American history.
Al Jazeera America. There's more to it.
From a Ukrainian-American rally in Chicago, we continue our conversation about the crisis in Crimea, Ukrainian peninsula. Sergei, a lot of talk. The U.S. State Department said to be preparing sanctions, the Foreign Secretary of the UK threatening consequences, EU ministers holding emergency meetings. The British Foreign Secretary, William Hague, he ruled out military intervention. So as you know, the most powerful countries in the world are preparing how to act here. What do you expect the actual response to be?
The actual response from the Ukrainian government?
From the international community. Everybody's talking about doing something, but it sometimes feels like a lot of talk. What do you actually think is going to happen when the rubber meets the road?
Well, I think the first thing that will happen is an attempt to humiliate Russia diplomatically, so expel it from the G8. to try to impose sanctions on top Russian leaders, financial sanctions on some of the businessmen, oligarchs in Russia. These are the initial steps that I think will be taken by the international community. But at the same time, I think Ukrainian authorities have to be proactive and to try to communicate to the Russian authorities that there are guarantees that they're willing to extend to the ethnic Russian minority, if that's what the concern is, about their representation in the new government, about their rights, both linguistically and human rights, so that the Russian authorities would understand that it's our interest, in our common interest, to maintain peace and avoid the potential for conflict that seems to be fast approaching.
Well, okay, here we have a video comment from a Ukrainian American. Give it a listen.
What happened in Ukraine is much larger than anti-government protests. What's happening is the movement against the form of government that should not exist anymore. It is the 21st century, and there is no time and no place for authoritarianism. And I hope that soon we will witness how other countries of Eastern Europe and all around the world where there is still no true democracy get on the board in this movement towards true democracy, towards the establishment of a true civil society. It is time for terms such an